the interesting things about the music of Franz Danzi is how well it stands between the formality of the classical period and the lush emotional intensity of the romantic period. It bridges that gap beautifully, but it poses a bit of a dilemma for us as musicians. Do we treat it as quite advanced classical music, or do we treat it as rather informal, undeveloped romantic music? And I think that's the glory of it. It's finding a style that works for it.
EnsembleF2 has done various projects similar to this in the past, in which we've taken a year to explore a particular composer or group of composers, and we very much enjoy being able to workshop the music and try and explore as much of the repertoire as possible. If you're wanting to explore late 18th, early 19th century chamber music, you'll see his name crop up a lot, but he's not necessarily the sort of name that all audiences will recognise. It's a real shame because during his lifetime he was very well respected. Weber referred to him as being one of the greatest living composers of their time, and there was a review that referred to his unusual richness of ideas, a touch of newness, an unfailing brisk liveliness, strength and much charm. Sonata is really interesting. It's one of the early works for clarinet and piano in which the two instruments have a strong partnership, and the first and second movements are very beautiful. The piano in both cases sets the scene, and you really do feel as if the piano is painting the picture of the set, and the clarinettist comes in and starts to take part in the action. I'm using a 10-keyed German-style clarinet for this project. My instrument actually was made by Daniel Bangham in Cambridge, but it's a copy of an instrument by Heinrich Grenzer, and Grenzer was one of the most important builders in Germany in the first part of the 19th century. The Grenzer instrument is quite robust. It has plenty of sound to work with.
The Georgia Manor House at Finchcock's contains a number of rooms, but it's only actually, the whole house is only one room deep, so we're never quite sure whether it's a very small big house or a very big small house. But the main performing space where we will be performing the Danzi quintet and the sonatas is a very beautiful wood-panelled hall. It gives us a level of intimacy and a level of response from our instruments because of all the wood panelling, and the instrument sounds perfect in there. So it's about as good as it gets from a music making point of view. From an audience point of view, of course, you're surrounded by all this history, you're hearing the instruments in the settings for which they were designed. It's a perfect match of music and surroundings and ambience and instruments.